Talk to yourself in the with the green dots. Here we go, guys. So, you are looking for Sundial? Well, first, we gotta take a look at some news of how things are gonna be moving. This is the David Show. It's not the Green Tom Show. This is my favorite show because it is my show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ring the motherfucking bell every time we are online. You will not be notified. The videos are for entertainment and learning purposes. Marijuana banking bill reintroduced in Congress with broad bipartisan support from more than 100 lawmakers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a bill to protect banks that service state legal marijuana businesses from being penalized by federal regulators has again been filed in the House. Representative Ed Perlmutter reintroduced the legislation titled the Secure and Fair Enforcement Safe Banking Act. The measure cleared the House along largely by partisan lines, during the last Congress, but it did not advance in the Senate under Republican control. With Democrats now in control of the House, Senate, and White House, industry stakeholders are optimistic that the legislation stands a solid chance of becoming law this year. The bill, as introduced, has 102 initial co-sponsors, 102, with Representative Steve Stivers, which is a Republican, Nidian Velasquez, Democrat from New York, and Warren Davidson, Republican from Ohio, taking the lead alongside Perlmutter. By the end of the 116th Congress, the prior version of the bill garnered 206 co-sponsors, and the current bill includes support from 13 Republicans. A new companion Senate version of the bill is expected to be filed next week. The Safe Banking Act will ensure that financial institutions could take on cannabis business clients without facing federal penalties. Fear of sanctions has kept many banks and credit unions from working with the industry, forcing marijuana firms to operate on a cash basis that makes them targets of crime and creates complications for financial regulators. The bill has been slightly revised this session to expand banking protections to explicitly include hemp and CBD businesses, and some technical changes were made to clarify language around insurance and safe harbor provisions. A separate bill to address insurance issues in the cannabis market was also introduced in the Senate on Thursday. Thousands of employees and businesses across this country have been forced to deal in piles of cash for far too long. Perlmutter said in a press release, "It's time to enact safe banking to align federal and state laws and reduce the public safety risk in our communities." And then, as you can see, today they reintroduced this one, okay? To align federal state laws. Oh, we already read it. I appreciate the partnership of the cannabis industry and businesses across this country who have added their voice to this effort. He added, the Safe Banking Act is an important first step to treating cannabis businesses like legal, legitimate businesses and beginning to reform our federal cannabis laws. Steve said that we have a responsibility to legislate for the reality we live in, and the reality is that legal businesses in 33 states, including Ohio, are being denied access to the banking system and forced to assume huge risks as a result of operating solely in cash. Velasquez added that the cannabis industry has been operating with great success, with many of these businesses deemed essential as the coronavirus pandemic took hold. Coronavirus! Thank you, Cardi. Really appreciate it. However, without the ability to safely utilize the banking system, cannabis-related businesses are left behind and stuck resorting to tactics that can threaten public safety and economic success, she said. As more states have legalized marijuana for recreational or medical use, banks have relied on 2014 guidance from the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network that requires them to submit suspicious activity reports if they elect to provide financial services to cannabis businesses. In the years since, the number of depositories taking on marijuana clients has gradually increased until a more recent downward trend that now seems to be stabilizing. The head of the Internal Revenue Services, IRS, told Congress last month that the federal agency will prefer for state legal cannabis firms to be able to pay taxes electronically, as the current cash-based system under prohibition is onerous and presents risk to workers. Former Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin You remember this guy? Similarly said in 2019 that he'd like to see Congress approve legislation resolving the cannabis banking issue, and he pointed to the fact that IRS had to build cash rooms to deposit taxes from those businesses as an example of the problem. In addition to being approved as a standalone bill in 2019, the Safe Banking Act also passed in the House after leadership attached its language to two pieces of coronavirus relief legislation last year. Thank you. But they declined to add it to their latest version signed into law by President Joe Biden this month. Despite having reclaimed the majority in both chambers and the White House. And then, guys, I had another article. Let me see, because check this out. So this is actually the latest that is on this website, Marijuana Moment. So that's a very good source of news. Check it out, guys. So as you can see over here, my friends, here we go. Schumer, marijuana bill will stop big alcohol and tobacco from dominating market. That's what he said. A bill to federally legalize marijuana that's being drafted by top senators will specifically seek to restrict the ability of large alcohol and tobacco companies to overtake the industry, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said on Thursday. Interesting. Instead, it will prioritize small businesses, particularly those owned by people from communities most impacted by prohibition, and focus on justice, as well as freedom. Schumer was joined by Senate Finance Committee Chairman Ron Wyden, Democratic, and Senator Cory Booker, Democratic as well, for a brief discussion of their work to develop a comprehensive reform bill. The trio talked about the harms of cannabis criminalization, the state-level legalization movement, and economic potential of regulating marijuana products. This comes on the same day that a bill protects banks that services cannabis businesses from being penalized by federal regulators was reintroduced in the House. We don't want the big tobacco companies and the big liquor companies to swoop in and take over, the majority leader said. The legislation we have will make sure that smaller businesses in communities of colors get the advantage, because communities of color have paid the price for decades. They should at least get something back. While the reform legislation has yet to be introduced, Schumer said it will be filed shortly, and it's exciting and it's imperative, and we will get it done. He also urged voters to reach out. Wow, guys, by the way, we will get it done is great. He also urged voters to reach out to their congressional representatives and tell them that this is long overdue, and it is an issue of justice, as well as freedom. I think we said this already. But guys, I think this is what we wanted to know, right? And then let's go ahead and move to Sundial. So a lot of stars are aligning over here, guys. I don't know about you, but patience is the name of the game. Sundial, ladies and gentlemen, this came out yesterday. What's up, okay? 4% following fourth quarter 2020 earnings. And why this is important? Because it created a higher high, right? Other cannabis names also are up. And let's see why that happened. And I know I did a video about this yesterday on the live, during the live, but today is a clip, motherfuckers. So shares of cannabis players, Sundial growers, are up 4.2%. And I remember that Chewy laughed at this joke, right, Chewy? You didn't like this? You liked that. And as you can see, to $1.60 as the company reported fourth quarter 2020 earnings after the closing bell yesterday. Although Sundial missed analyst expectations on revenues, the company increased year over year. The amount of cannabis sold was 36%, and its branded cannabis sales accounted for 75% of all cannabis sales, up from 20% the prior year. Fourth quarter 2020 earnings also came on the heels on a Monday announcement that Sundial and Canadian private equity firm SAF Group, SAF Opportunities LP, formed a joint venture through a new corporation, Sunstream Bancorp. The venture will seek cannabis investment opportunities in both Canadian and international markets. Okay, Sundial has made an initial commitment of $100 million Canadian, which is 80 in American, toward the venture. So that's good. Following the announcement of the deal, Canaccord Genuity analyst Chan Mer said he was maintaining his sole rating on Sundial. We believe Sundial can be a notable player in industry consolidation efforts and will look to see capital deployment in international markets, particularly in the US, as global regulations continue to move in favor of cannabis reform, he wrote in a note. And guys, if we want to take a look at Sundial over here and see if there's anything new, nothing specifics today. You can even go to Seeking Alpha and check out the slides they have, right? They have all of the presentation they provided. This is the brand portfolio. Look at that. Wow. Grasslands, Palmetto, Sundial, BC Weed, and another one. Top Leaf. Oh, look at that. Look at the branding. Look at this. Very, very nice, guys. So it seems like we are getting to a next level with Sndl. And they have cash at hand. And they're starting to make that money work. Investing in the money, which is very, very good for them. Sndl, guys. Let's review what we got. But David. Technical analysis. Oh. Okay, guys. So first of all, yesterday, when we reviewed Sundial in the beginning of the day, when it was at 160, we said this has potential to go retracing. Why? Because it was going to leave a gap behind in the lower time frame, okay? But as you can see, guys, the gap over here, has been retested, right? Which is a good thing. And today, this morning, we are at $1.48. Let's look at the 4-hour because I want to look at the higher time frame. I do like that it created a higher high on the daily from the previous candle, even though it's bearish. I do like the exponential moving averages, the 14 EMA, the 50-day exponential moving average crossing with the 200, which is a great sign, because when we are above the 200, we are starting to look at the uptrend, a change of trend, and we're leaving the 200 EMA behind, and that's good. But patience will be required for Sndl. The way that I will invest in this, there's a few ways that I will do it. First, using disposable income. Never use money that you need. By the way, the videos are for entertainment and learning purposes. When we break the resistance level over here at $1.74, having a buy stop will be a great potential 126%. But David, what if it goes down? If it goes down, it's even better. And now you have seen that Sundial will actually grow, not only because of the company, but because of how the world is adopting and trying to get more commercialized marijuana to a mainstream audience, which is very hard. Mainstream audiences, it's not easy to work. You can't be ahead of the curve. You gotta be ahead of the curve just to make it ready for everybody, just to pave the way of where we're going. Just like what happened with Bitcoin, guys. It wasn't easy for everybody to understand, and now little by little, people are understanding and learning. Like some parents, grandfathers, grandmothers, sometimes they didn't like marijuana, and now they're starting to understand because there's more education, more exposure to it. You know, $1.48 is today's price. I'm still gonna be a bull for this one. I don't mind the retracement. I think that there should be retracement, but I just like this freaking spike and the exponential moving average cross. 396 is one of my targets. After that, I see the next targets 471, which will be 222%, and then 572. But David, how do you get that? Fibonacci, guys. Let me do the Fibonacci. Let me just see if we're good. See, we're good. Those are my Fibonacci levels. I can even adjust it a little bit. Let me just go ahead and do that. There, perfect. See, the Fibonacci is giving me price predictions, and I even see over here, guys, $9. But at the end of the day, not the day, I always say at the end of the day, but what I want to see from Sundial is actually revisiting that $13 area. And we already have provided the earnings, so great announcement over here. Let's delete that. And boom, chakalaka. And I want to hear you out, guys. Where do you think SNDL will go? Are we still going to be consolidating? Do you think that bill won't pass in the United States? Do you think are we getting ready for a rocket ship? Going to Mars, the moon, Pluto, other galaxies? Let me know in the chat room. Let me know in the comment section. Or if you think it's going to go to the bottom of the ocean, give me some pineapple. Okay, guys, that is the clip for today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ring the motherfucking bell. Now we're going to check out AMC and GME. Let's see what we got. Holy motherfuckers. AMC.